Cliffy B, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm awake before noon, which is a record for me.
Can you imagine a world without gaming?
I cannot. The world itself can be pretty crappy, especially it feels like it's gotten exponentially crappy the last 4 to 6 or so years. But the thing is gaming is an escape, and I made video games for 25 years, and I will always love video games. But the world needs escapism, and I think it's a healthy thing to kind of get away and to jump into another world, right?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that's why when people say that they're doing this metaverse and all that kind of stuff and how it's going to be the next big thing, I'm going, wait a second, we've been doing this since when I was playing Space Invaders, we were jumping off thinking that we were way up there in space.
Yeah, well, that was exactly the kind of moment for me when I was like 6 years old, and back in the day, I was born in '75, and I saw Space Invaders on my friend's TV, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can actually control what's on the TV, and it was like at that point, I was like, now and then I can also actually like being the person controlling what's going on the TV. Wow, that's some next level stuff, and that kind of set my career path, in for the next however many years.
Putting this project together, Control Freaks. I mean, it's about global gaming. It's about generations and making a ton of money while influencing movie makers in California to bring in some real action.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things. Like, I remember being at one of the video game conferences in Las Vegas years ago, and I remember seeing like film directors like going to these events, and it's one of those things that like you can see the influence that video games has on pop culture in general. And it's one of those things that I love video games as much as I love television and film. But if you look at the way that uh, games have influenced everything,
Yeah.
like video games are very much a lean forward experience as opposed to a lean back experience. It's kind of like a novel, much like plug my novel, Control Freak. If you stop reading a book, the book stops. If you stop playing a video game, the game stops. If you stop, watching a movie or TV show, it keeps going. So that's the big difference, is the whole lean forward versus lean back thing.
Yeah, yeah. Now the thing about it is that when you break it down like that, the anytime I go to a movie anymore, I always feel like, okay, this scene right here is going to be the next video game. It's almost like you guys work hand in hand to create these moments where it's like, okay, before the movie even comes out, well, you guys are making the game already an event.
Well, I mean, one of my biggest influences is Hideo Kojima. Kojima-san did the Metal Gear Solid series. He did this game recently called Death Stranding, and he loves movies just as much as he loves video games.
Mhm.
And he loves creating this immersive experience. And the position I'm in right now, having made games for 25 years, and with the book hitting and whatnot, is I'm creating what we call intellectual property. I'm creating worlds right now.
Mhm.
And the thing is, I can create worlds through the lens of understanding, like, this could be a movie, this could be a video game, this could be a Netflix series, this could be a toy line. And even my wife is doing one right now. She's making a comic book about gargoyles, because so many 90s kids grew up with that animated series of gargoyles, right? And so with her video game experience, she's also leveraging the same thing. And so having that experience is something that's incredibly useful as you have that lens of starting to create worlds.
I love your quote. No one is weirder than a nerd with money. It's so true.
Well, are we going to go down the Elon Musk rabbit hole?
But it's so true, because I mean, even you take Elon out of the picture, and nerds with money still are going to, they're just very creative. And as long as they have the finances, they're going to do whatever they want to do, and they're going to do it at their pace.
Well, the world, especially in a capitalist society, is one big role playing game, right? And
Yeah.
once you get to the point where fiscally you can just not like get up without like an alarm going off, right? Like then that's when the world really opens up. And for me, having worked in video games again for 25 years, now I'm exploring, producing on Broadway, exploring, publishing a book, exploring the world of comic books, exploring the world of restaurants, and just seeing how various industries work. And one of the major things that I've learned is that there's a lot of like overlap in the Venn diagram of industry and business and things like that. And at the end of the day, I have this tattoo on my left arm that I got. One of my favorite books as a child was Harold the Purple Crayon. And Harold basically has this purple crayon which he uses as like the stylus on a tablet to draw whatever he wants to come to life. And since I'm a lefty, again, it's on my left arm. It's my reminder to always be creating. I think if you're creative, you have to be like a shark. You always have to be swimming, otherwise you die, for lack of a
Yeah.
better, I mean, it's hyperbolic, but it's true.
Well, and the thing, and that's one of the reasons why I created on iHeartRadio this channel called Creativity is the Addiction. And basically the show is based 100% on, hey, look, you are creative. This is how we're going to make it through, and you can't turn it off, and then you're going to go insane trying to.
That's absolutely true. There's a reason Van Gogh cut off his freaking ear, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that like when I had my own video game studio, Boss Key Productions, was existed for 3.5 years, and it ultimately cratered, unfortunately, which broke me for like a good year. And then I realized I wasn't just depressed because of the studio creating. I was depressed because I wasn't creating. I needed to
Hmm.
make stuff.
Hmm.
And I believe that I'm a huge musical fan, as I mentioned. And like, I love Rent, and there's a line in Rent where they say the opposite of war isn't peace, it's creation.
Yeah.
And for me, the I'm back at the point in my life, having written this book, and being able to hand out signed copies to my friends. And we had a signing the other night. It was sold out, standing room only, in Raleigh, North Carolina. And it was just such a high just to hold something in my hands. I love typing up a description of a character or a location and sending it to an artist or a programmer, and then getting back what actually was inside my head. But then okay, maybe nudge this a little to the left, a little to the right, change the field of view and all that stuff. Like, that is a high unlike any other. Actually, it's almost as high as like having a good crowd as doing karaoke.
You talk about making the world smaller, because when you work with artists and stuff like that, I mean, you work with people all over the world, and they're always a phone call or just an email or a text away, and then people are just ready to jump on it and make things move.
I think COVID actually taught us how to work remotely. The
Yeah.
best, the silver lining to all this COVID stuff is, like, I'm literally in pajamas right now. And,
Well, I'm at the premiere of Wakanda, so I mean, yeah, I understand. You can do this stuff wherever.
oh, I'm so jealous. I'm looking forward to seeing that. We just got an Alamo Draft House in Raleigh a couple of years ago, and like, I have a theater set up in my house that's pretty sweet. But Tim League in the Alamo Draft House has my undying loyalty. So Wakanda Forever looks really, really, really fantastic.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you in about 3 hours.
Yeah, wow, is it that long?
Yeah, it's 2 hours and 47 minutes long.
Goodness, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's a nice long one. So
So
you might as well.
it is in fact Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, you're right. Now, one of the things that I was there, that kid that saw when foosballs and pinballs went away because of this thing called Pong. All of a sudden, everybody was dropping their quarters down on that hard plastic surface.
Wow, you're almost as old as I am.
I mean, it was such a moment at the bowling alley, because all of a sudden those pinball machines were all by themselves, and then you came along, and all of a sudden you start building all of these things and making things happen, and it changed the course of the way that people gamed.
I mean, the thing is, as much as I will always love video games, they'll always be in my heart, and I wanted to control something on the screen. Don't forget the fact that the more the world goes digital, the more the world will cling to analog, right? And it's
Mhm.
like, that's the rise of, LPs the last 15 or so years, right? People want something tangible, like, as much as, I have a Kindle, right? I use my
Yeah.
Kindle, but like, it literally says, I have a sticker on the back of my phone that says book slut. Like, I just, because that's the thing, is I just, like, going into that bookstore the other night, like, and just the smell of actual physical books. I love
Yeah.
tangible books to the point where, like, my like backlog is just absolutely overflowing. And to be able to actually hold something that I, spent 4 years writing is just tremendous. And video games are such a compelling form of entertainment, and it's such an interesting language, to depict something on the screen between, that relationship between game designer and the player, that push and pull, that ebb and flow. It's really a beautiful thing. But that said, I still love analog.
When outsiders would catch wind of what you guys were up to, how did you guys act and react to such news, and was it ever right?
Gotta wrap after
Uh,
this.
What do you mean by the news?
In other words, when we're, because one of the things, I mean, you can sit down with any age group right now, and they're going to tell you what games are coming way ahead of the schedule. And I go, have they even started building it yet? And they'll go, oh, I know what's happening because da da da. And you know, so I mean, did you ever get into those circles where people tried to predict what you guys were doing?
No one has any idea what anyone's doing in the video game industry. One of the
Really?
common questions I would get is like, where's the industry going to be in 3 to 5 years? No
Yeah.
one knows. No one could have predicted the explosion of games like Fortnite and things like that. No one could have predicted Minecraft with its, crude graphics. However, Minecraft is still one of the most compelling entertainment experiences ever made, and Microsoft's done a fantastic job of managing that. So I think, at the end of the day, people just want to connect, they want to interact, and they want to create, and video games facilitate that.
And you know, to me, it's the new age of okay. Oh, he said I have to wrap. Oh, I'm sorry, Cliffy B. I had a great time having a conversation with you. I can't wait to talk with you again.
Thanks, Arrow, and your photo makes you look like a total rock star.
I am, buddy. You have a great day. Okay.
It's
Okay.
rock and roll, mate.